Real news, anytime, anywhere. CBSN.
This is extraordinary. This is important.
This is historic.
This is what they have to contend with.
This is some of the worst of Florence.
This is bigger, though, than opening up the borders.
This has altered your life.
This is what it's like covering a story here in China.
This.
Don't miss Criminal Minds. New CBS Wednesday, 10/9 Central.
Hey, I'm returning your stuff. Your motor oil, your paint, and all your other trash. You dumped it on the ground and it washed down the storm drain and into my water. Don't let it happen again. Or next time, I won't be so nice.
Stop polluting Kentucky's water by keeping trash off the ground. To find out how you can help, visit our website.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for joining us on Mountain News This Morning. It is a headache of a forecast, and so our team has been trying to do their best, but sometimes you just can't predict the weather as well as you hope. And Brandon, that's exactly what this forecast is. And I came in and said, wow, man, if you had any hair, you would have pulled it out by now, because it's just hard to pinpoint this right now.
Yeah, it's been a mess for sure, and we're going to continue to track it. But of course, we started talking about yesterday afternoon at 4. Andrew was mentioning that this system was well defined on the models, and then all of a sudden the moisture kind of went away. It was a moisture-starved system to begin with, but the moisture behind the front kind of fizzled out. So all that's riding along the front right now is what you're seeing across the area. Let's go to Pikeville Medical Center camera this morning, and you can see, if you watch real close, a few flakes flying there this morning. I did get a picture from over near Prestonsburg in Floyd County of a little bit of snow trying to stick to some roads over there. But here's the thing: if you got any kind of moisture overnight, as we go to the hazard camera outside the WYMT studios, it will freeze, because temperatures are dropping. No matter if it was rain, if it was a little bit of light snow, it's going to be icy this morning in some spots. So be careful of that. Road crews got out and treated some places yesterday, but the rain came, washed a lot of it off. So just keep that in mind this morning. We go over to the Whitesburg camera, and again, just a little bit of rain or snow over that way as well this morning. So just be careful. Give yourself plenty of time to get around this morning. Winter weather advisory continues for the entire area through later today. Some different some different end times there. There's the moisture. As the temperatures dropped, it converted over, but again, too little too late for a lot of folks, and there's where it is right now on live pinpoint Doppler radar, hugging those border counties right there with Kentucky and Virginia. The cold air really cranking in behind it, though. Low 20s, upper teens there in central Kentucky, mid to upper 20s across the area here at eastern Kentucky. You go over to the wind speeds cranking in out of the northwest, so that's making it feel like 13 in Moorhead, 3 in Lexington, and teens across a big chunk of the region. So a normal day, or a little bit extra on the coffee meter. We're still in close to that 40-degree mark over there in far eastern Kentucky. So again, we'll probably adjust that as we need to. But temperatures today are not going to go up. They're actually going to go down and then stabilize a little bit there in the mid-20s by later on. The rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon, we'll check back in with you. Well, road crews across the region started getting ready for the possibility of snow yesterday. In Harlan County, crews started up trucks and checked salt supplies, making sure everything was in working order. Workers salted some higher elevations in shaded areas. However, with the rain ahead of the snow, it's hard to prepare for those slick spots.
We won't pre-treat as many roads because it's anticipated that a line of rain will move in before the snow actually does. So if we pre-treat before the rain comes, the rain generally will wash off the salt.
Now, Mosley says county workers pre-treat and clear 1,500 roads when it snows or ices. Now, with the snow comes the cold. Community members in the city of Prestonsburg are hoping to keep people and animals warm. The Floyd County Animal Shelter is offering to bring any cat or dog inside their shelter to keep them warm and alive. A warming shelter also opens tonight on University Drive near Dairy Queen and the Prestonsburg Church of God. People can come in and stay from 8 p.m. until 8 a.m. Deborah Bentley says the shelter is not easy to coordinate, but it is a necessity during these cold winter nights.
It's definitely worth it because it's a need, you know, and it's going to be so cold for the next 3 days, and, you know, winter's not over.
Now, you do not need to pass a background check to stay in the warming shelter, but they are taking extra steps to be sure drugs are not brought into the house. Now, as Brandon talked about just a little bit ago, the front that's coming through now, along with another one right on its heels, will bring Arctic air into the mountains that could freeze up your water pipes. WYMT meteorologist Paige Noel talked to officials with ServPro to get tips on how to keep your pipes from bursting during frigid temps.
Most people think this is the only way to help keep your pipes from freezing.
If you can drip water lines, that can hold off the problem for a little while, but it's not going to save you.
Having your home well insulated and heat running will help decrease the chances of your pipes bursting.
If you have heat running in the house, normally pipes won't bust inside the insulated walls. Normally the pipes bust inside the walls where insulation isn't sufficient enough to keep the cold out.
In another area of the house, you can expect your pipes to freeze.
Normally you can expect the ones when it gets extremely cold to bust from the wind-driven side of your home.
Typically in a winter weather system, winds come from the west to northwest direction.
And that wind with the cold will give extreme temperatures and a wind chill on that side of the house and can bust your pipes.
And the easiest way to keep your pipes from bursting is to make sure your home is nice and warm.
Areas where you know there's insulation missing, put some extra heat or turn the temperature up in the house to try to keep it even warmer.
And if you suspect any problems, call your water company immediately. In Laurel County, Paige Noel, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, officials also say if you plan to leave your home for an extended period of time, to turn off your water and wash out the lines. It is also important to protect yourself from the frigid air. Brandon will have some tips on how you can do that coming up in weather. Now, across the nation's midsection, millions of people will experience the coldest air in a generation from this Arctic blast. The winter weather has already claimed 3 lives in the Midwest. Temperatures in parts of the country could drop below zero with wind chills much colder than that. Tie that in with slick roads from snow, and that makes it nearly impossible to travel.
Expectations has to be these are extremely dangerous conditions, and people have to understand that health and safety is our highest priority.
Now in Atlanta, home to this year's Super Bowl, forecasters predict the temperatures to plunge today as the city is expected to get up to 2 inches of snow. Now, authorities in Illinois say a driver was recently ticketed for driving 115 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. Illinois State Police shared the citation on Facebook saying she was not only speeding, but doing so with snow and slush on the road. She was not just cited, she was taken to jail. The woman was not mentioned by name. The social media post also included the hashtag #That'sGoToJailSpeed. Now back here at home this morning, we are learning new information about a woman found dead last month in Perry County. A deputy coroner told us yesterday, April Higgins died of hypothermia. Police found her unresponsive in a field the day before Christmas. State police say as of now, they still have an open death investigation into the case. However, it is unclear how she ended up in the field. Now in other news, 5 Texas police officers are recovering this morning after being injured in Houston. The officers came under fire Monday afternoon while serving a drug search warrant in a residential neighborhood. We are told 2 of them were shot in the neck and 2 others were also hit. The 5th was injured in a fight inside the home. 2 suspects were killed and police used 2 robots to search the home in the aftermath.
This all began because a neighbor had the courage to say, we're not going to put up. We think that they're dealing dope out of this house. Black tar heroin was being dealt out of this, and we know the poison that's killing so many kids.
Now, police say about a dozen narcotics officers backed up by half a dozen patrol officers were on scene for the raid. Charges have been filed against a St. Louis police officer accused in the shooting death of an off-duty officer. Nathaniel Hendren is charged with involuntary manslaughter and is suspended from the department. Police say he shot and killed 24-year-old Caton Alex early Thursday morning inside an apartment while playing with guns. He is being held on a $50,000 bond. A wild road rage incident on the Massachusetts Turnpike over the weekend was all caught on camera. 65-year-old Richard Kamrowski, the man hanging on the hood in this video, says the whole thing started as a minor car accident. His lawyer says he was just trying to get Mark Fitzgerald's, the other driver's, information before he was bumped up onto the hood. Fitzgerald tells a different story. His lawyer says Kamrowski stole a water bottle from his client's car, then smashed his windshield. Both men entered not guilty pleas yesterday in court. Thankfully, no one was hurt in the incident. Meanwhile, talk about being at the right place at the right time. A Chinese milkman is being hailed as a hero after catching a baby that fell from a third story of an apartment building. You can see a woman perched on a window ledge holding a baby as smoke fills her apartment. Her precious bundle slips from her arms, and fortunately a milkman who happened to be in that area made the amazing catch. Both baby and mom are doing just fine. Well, straight ahead on Mountain News this morning, things in Atlanta are starting to heat up as the countdown to the Super Bowl rolls on. We'll have some highlights from opening night. And later, the former house of a country music icon is for sale.
Some snow is falling right now across the eastern parts of the region. While we are concerned about travel impacts we may have now, we're more worried about the bitter cold coming behind it. I'll have the full forecast in about 2.5 minutes.